Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the match on WWE 2K25. This one will be Hulk Hogan going one-on-one against the Iron Sheik. Now, this was Hogan's first ever championship win against the Iron Sheik back in 1984. He also became the first man to ever escape the camel clutch. Who knew that? I just googled it, by the way, that's why I know that, you know. Yes, a massive match in Hogan's career, isn't it, really? And the Iron Sheik, of course, one of Hogan's biggest rivals. I don't think Iron Sheik was necessarily Hogan's biggest fan. As we know from Iron Sheik's various Twitter posts over the years. And again, the Iron Sheik's not something we get to use that often, so I thought it was a perfect opportunity to do so. And the way Hogan's wrestling this week, it should be an easy point for Sheik. Saying that, let's be said, we haven't used a lot of the Iron Sheik. He's had 21 matches so far, which is actually quite a considerable amount in the grand scheme of things. So he has actually done okay. Hogan, of course, is having an absolute terrible week. We've put this whole week of shows on just to celebrate his career, and so far, after 11 matches, he is not doing terrifically well, is he? I think he was... Did we say it was? He was 3-8 out of 11 now? Yeah, 3-8 out of 11. It's been a bit of a terrible situation for him. And then I went and spent ages looking for an Iron Sheik core, by the way, and I couldn't figure out why there was no really good Iron Sheik cores. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I realised it's because he's on the bloody game. No one's making him because he's already on the game. I completely forgot. I did a lot of that this year. I keep forgetting the people that are actually on the game, and there's a lot of people that are on the actual roster that we haven't used at all. And as we come through to the next few shows, I think we're doing SummerSlam next week, sort of living off the hype of SummerSlam that's going to be happening this weekend. So we'll try and use some of the real people we haven't really touched that much. That's my plan anyway. Right, let's crack into this one. Let's stop faffing about. Hulk Hogan versus the ultimate enemy. I don't know where I went with that, to be honest. The Iron Sheik. And Hogan straight off the bat with a big scoop slam. Before just slamming the back of Sheik's head into the mat. Starting things off very aggressive. Which I think you need to do really against someone like Sheik. And Sheik is going to be the more technical of the two. He's going to want to try and weaken the back of Hogan. Potentially to lock in that camel clutch and try and win the match that way. Hogan's going to have to just use his brute force and his power and strength to try and just keep Sheik down and hit him with that big leg drop and try and get the victory. Because the one thing Hogan does need to do is to build up as many points as he possibly can. He needs to keep building himself up and getting that momentum. Remember, he has a championship match coming up tomorrow. He's facing Kurt Angle in the main event of our pay-per-view to fight for the United States Championship. He needs to really pull his bloody finger out. Sheik now rolling Hogan through. Keeping him grounded in that submission hold. And yeah, according to Google, Hulk Hogan was the first ever wrestler to escape from the camel clutch. And the match actually took place at Madison Square Garden as well. January 23rd, 1984, Hulk Hogan wins his first ever World Heavyweight Championship at Madison Square Garden, defeating the Iron Sheik. Hogan now slamming the back of Sheik's head into the mat. We are still using the custom sliders that I put in place earlier in the week, by the way, so let me know what you think of them. I think the first match we had wasn't ideal, not because it wasn't a good match, it just ended a lot quicker than I was hoping, but since then, they have worked out pretty well. Hogan drops into the pin now on Sheik. Only a 1 count. Hogan now with a back rake. And now, looks like he's pulling back on the hair, but the Iron Sheik is bald. I'm not quite sure how that worked, to be honest with you. Hogan now slamming Sheik into the ring steps. And now pinching away at the trapezius. A very painful maneuver. People might not realise just how painful this is. But if you really just pinch away at that shoulder muscle and the top of your shoulder blade, it is agony. It really is. Hogan now dropping the elbow into Sheik. Referee's counting. I think Hogan's going to... Nope. I thought he was looking to re-enter the ring then, but brings Sheik back up to his feet, and he is going to try and take him back into the ring. I say Hogan could try and win this by counter. I don't think that would have worked at that point in time, so it probably is the best idea to try and just contain as much of Sheik as you can. Just stick on him and continue doing the damage, but Sheik has now turned it around. Double axe handle to the spine of Hogan. Sheik now stalking Hogan as he gets back up to his feet, boot in the gut, and then look at that big boot of his own, knocking Hogan down. Hogan now taking Sheik up into the bear hug. There's bear hug. And look at the back of Sheik. You see where the slaps and the back rake and all that sort of stuff has really done the damage to the spine. Hogan now rolls Sheik over again. Springs off the ropes, in with the atomic leg drop. That could be enough to secure a victory here. Referee very slow to get down, and when he does, though, it is enough for the free count. And Hogan, he's starting to come back a little bit here. He's -4 for the year now, +10 overall, which is not bad considering where he was just a couple of days ago. But he's still got some big matches to come. Oh, the cat's just found a fly. So I just heard a noise. I looked in the kitchen. The cat was doing a backflip, trying to catch a fly that was flying through the room. So I'm sure MZK Punk will not be happy with this result. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's a good victory for Hogan. He really did need it. Iron Sheik. He needs a bit of help maybe. He's down to -2 now after 22 matches. So I'm sure we can help him out a little bit, build him up. And Hogan's celebrating. He's got one more... No, okay, he still has one more big match coming up for you today, though. He's got that big WrestleMania 18 rematch against The Rock, so make sure you check that one out. But before you leave here, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the other good stuff. Of course, like I said, The Rock versus Hogan later on this afternoon. And tomorrow, we will have... Oh my God, 1.5 star, terrible. We will have the pay-per-view, Hulkamania Forever. And before the pay-per-view, we do have a 30-man gauntlet match planned in as well, so it's going to be an interesting one. The pay-per-view, main eventing with Hogan versus Angle for the United States Championship, Savage versus The Rock. We've got NWO versus DX in a War Games match. Brutus Beefcake is going to be on the card somewhere as well. The Killer Bees versus the Natural Disasters, because B. Brian Blair was Hogan's debut match. Obviously, one half of the Killer Bees, and the Natural Disasters because of Hogan's feuds with Earthquake. And then Andre the Giant versus The Big Show also on that card. So I'll see you all a little bit later on for The Rock. And then hopefully tomorrow for the pay-per-view as well. Good night.